From canal blockages to microchip shortages, the past year has shed light on holes in the supply chain and put a squeeze on industries far and wide. And while key players have stayed successful by being nimble enough to overcome these obstacles, how much longer can manufacturers actually rely on being able to change course that quickly? Well, the answer, I'm sure, doesn't lie in warehouses and factories of overseas manufacturers. The answer is probably going to be found right here at home. So how can manufacturers localize production, avoid long time to market, and avoid being at the mercy of international disruption, both expected and unexpected? Well, on this episode of Made in America, we're going to find out. We're talking to the researchers, the manufacturers, and the businesses bringing manufacturing back to American shores, kicking off a renaissance of sorts for this country's manufacturing landscape. Premio is a global solutions provider of computing technology, with powerful solutions hitting the market from the edge to the cloud. And while that reach is impressive, the magic begins right here in Los Angeles, where their proximity to the city's ports means Premio is in a highly strategic location to ship to other outposts in Taiwan, Malaysia, and even Germany. So how has Premio evolved over more than 3 decades to become their customers' inside outsource? Let's ask the team. All right, so Dustin, let's kick this off pretty high level. Can you give us a general overview here of what Premio's core capabilities are in terms of your technologies?
Yeah, so a lot of our core capabilities didn't happen overnight. It's taken 3 decades, so we've been in business for 30 years. But in those last 30 years, I would say one of the most important core capabilities or technologies would be a combination of both the engineering and the manufacturing. And that's really kind of defining key products in our roadmap for key specific markets. And those markets really being the embedded computing market, and then the high performance storage and computing market for data centers as well.
It's an understatement to say that most industries are feeling the need for computing solutions that can intake a lot of data, process them, and then put them to good use. But if you had to summarize some of the ones that you see the most room for growth or upcoming opportunities on the horizon, which would those be and why?
One of the key industries where we're seeing major growth would be the robotics side, because if you kind of look at robotics, without software, it's basically bare metal, right? And without the software to drive the algorithms, without actually drive the intelligence, the machine wouldn't actually know what to do. But the flip side of that, why hardware is so important is because really hardware provides the performance acceleration. So what I like to say is software provides the flexibility and hardware provides the performance acceleration needed. So when you kind of combine all that together, you really have a purpose-built solution that can solve a lot of these newer applications that are really pushing forward the levels of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and full-scale automation.
You know, Dustin, I think it's important to intersect some of the big picture stuff that's shaping this industry too. So what would you say are some of the most important world issues, stories, and trends that are really driving this mass adoption of computing?
Yeah, so the digital transformation has been happening for I would say, roughly the last 5 years. But within those 5 years, that's something that no one could have forecasted, no one could have projected, and that was a global pandemic. Putting that at a pause, that created a supply chain issue for semiconductors that has pivoted the United States government to even look into this issue. So why that's so important from an assembled and numerical standpoint and localized manufacturing is that once all this manufacturing for semiconductors hopefully does have the ability to move back on shore on American soil, you now have the ability for the ecosystem to grow. And that's where Premio is. We are part of an ecosystem of semiconductors that really helps customers in the United States scale. And by having this facility already with semiconductors in a localized environment, you're really able to accelerate that time to market for a lot of not only our products, but our customers' products strictly related to compute.
Give us a little insight behind the curtain around your work today, right? What are some of the use cases and technologies that the company is actively working on and why?
So I would say some of the biggest use cases and customers examples that we are currently serving really deal with this newer age technology that deals with data coming from IoT sensors being moved into a processing element to where you can extract some type of machine learning, but also using computer vision to do the intelligence.
Data fuels everything modern operations do, and they can't let harsh environments get in the way of their insights. Enter rugged edge computing. Rugged edge computing gives organizations the tools to collect and analyze data at the source by implementing solutions not affected by extreme temperatures, shock and vibration, and other disruptions. Premio is one of the leaders in these rough and tumble yet highly intelligent solutions. But how do they bring them to life?
So we've covered how robust Premio's engineering design side is and how that really helps elevate the quality of the product for the end user. I'm curious if you can let us know how Premio's manufacturing arm also allows for scale to the end user's benefit.
We have 3 different types of manufacturing setup.
Okay.
Assembly line, cell, and station. So it gives us the capability to work with any size of the customer. We also provide the capacity to support the growth of our customer business. So no matter where the manufacturing is running, all of them are controlled and managed by our, fully integrated. And so it's a very robust infrastructure for our customer to leverage.
2021 has been the year of the supply chain, and the technology side of the chain has possibly been the one hit the worst. A vast majority of the manufacturing of microchips and mission-critical processors is based in Asia. And this isn't just because the region has been the lowest cost producer, but also because many of the essential components powering computing come from materials found in that part of the world. And naturally, with a global pandemic shaking up established global trade routes and relationships, companies asked themselves, is it even possible to move manufacturing closer to end users to insulate against these technology supply chain hiccups? Although it may be difficult to reshore all production, there are still companies evaluating how they can build strategic facilities around the globe, including here in the US. In the desert of Arizona, tech giant Intel is leading a major push in the private sector with the launch of 2 new chip factories. While I was visiting Premio out in sunny California, my colleague and co-host, Tyler Kern, sat down with Jennifer Bresler, director for the Americas Business Management Group with Intel, to get more insight on Intel's US manufacturing commitments and why their under-the-hood tech is essential to Premio's success.
Hey Jennifer, thanks so much for sitting down with us here today. Now, I want to start off here. Intel is leading the largest private sector investment in Arizona history with the launch of its 2 new chip factories. Can you offer some perspective on the background behind this investment into localized semiconductor fabrications? What was the primary motivator here?
Yeah, so I'll unpack your question in a couple of different ways. As background, America's technological competitiveness is being tested. You got industry experts, economists, and elected officials that are all raising concern over the decline that we've seen in US-based manufacturing of semiconductors. At the same time, the manufacturing industry is at an extremely pivotal point right now. So on a global basis, we've seen a lot of shortages of semiconductor chips, which has impacted our supply chain greatly and could last into the 2023 timeframe. And as we've discussed, the demand for compute just continues to grow, and it's never been higher than it is right now. So combined with the constraints and the demand growth, what we're seeing is constraints for everything that has a connection and compute, everything from cars and farm equipment to PCs and smaller devices. So really diversifying that semiconductor supply chain is more important than it's ever been before. And it's immensely important for us here at home in terms of America's ability to really remain technologically competitive on the global stage. The concentration of supply of semiconductors in one part of the world really puts our entire global supply chain at risk. And This is really where Intel has come in with big bets to right the ship. Intel is uniquely positioned to differentiate itself in the semiconductor market from a manufacturing and ultimately from a supply perspective. So the capital expenditures that were tied to the announcements that you just mentioned really demonstrate our continued commitment to that integrated device manufacturer model, or IDM model, which is truly foundational to Intel's leadership in the semiconductor market. That IDM model positions us distinctly with this, what we call lab to fab pipeline, so that we have control over our own destiny by enabling things like our own product design optimization, improving our internal economics, and providing flexibility in our manufacturing environment that ultimately optimizes the supply that is output from that. So going back to the 2 new fabs that you mentioned in Arizona, we're very proud that we've already broken ground on those well ahead of schedule. And when they're fully operational, those fabs will be manufacturing Intel's most advanced product technologies. And those fabs will not only support the increased demand that we have for Intel products, but they will also provide that committed capacity for the Intel Foundry services that we announced earlier this year, and that we're proud to say we've already shipped our first revenue units for.
Yeah, that makes sense, absolutely. So what makes this investment into at-home chip production important, not only for your products, but the industries you serve, like embedded and edge computing?
Yeah, so semiconductors are the essential building blocks to the digital economy, everything from cloud to the edge. So we need to increase that advanced chip manufacturing capacity, capability, and innovation, very similar to what Dustin had called out previously. And it's really important for us here in the US for multiple reasons, right? It's critical to this country's technological success. The world is digitizing, the world needs compute. We want the US to be a part of that. It's a matter of our national security, and it's really vital to the economic success of the industries that we serve, as you mentioned. Dustin talked a lot about the disruption that we've seen over the past year plus, and it's vital that we get back to this smoother supply chain that we've known from the past. We've got to get these manufacturing environments back to normal operations so that they can output product and meet the growing demand that there is for compute in the industry. So really combined for our entire industry, it will allow us to collectively make this significant contribution to the economy of this country and beyond, right, in our country's technological success.
Right, absolutely. So with the competition stronger than ever before, what are the reasons that partners should continue to point customers to Intel-based solutions?
Being able to expertly construct the best products using the best technology is a massive differentiator for Intel, and one that we believe delivers enormous value to our customers and our partners. We have leadership products that help our partners capitalize on the digital disruption that we talked about previously, and our ability to combine multiple process technologies, both what we manufacture internally within Intel, but also the process technologies that we use our external partners for, along with very novel packaging technology, really allows us to uniquely tailor to different customer and market needs. In addition to that, we have our innovation engine that we have released to relentlessly identify and solve challenges across a wide variety of industries that really allows us to deliver products with improved performance and lower power consumption. So when you talk about those technological advancements that we've made and working with our customers and partners on some of those tough problems, combined with the investments and the massive capital expenditures that we've announced in manufacturing, it really gets you to a place where our customers can rely on Intel for their next generation of innovations that's going to fuel everything for the continued digitization of the world.
Excellent stuff. Well, we'll get you out of here on this final question. How important are channel partners to the future of Intel?
We have, our partners have never been more critical to us than they are now. Regardless of how we really define those channel partners, they're vital to our future. You have the traditional type of partners that we've had in the past from Intel, meaning OEMs and our channel partners. And those are still critical today in terms of delivering our hardware solutions. And then Intel's also evolved their partners. We've got the cloud partners, the ISVs, the CSPs, and they have become massively important to us in terms of our influence of consumption for all things cloud, AI, intelligent edge, et cetera. And then as technology continues to evolve, we continue to rely on those channel partners to help us drive both our influence and our opportunities. So as said, they're absolutely critical to us.
Let's walk through several of Premio's processes. Right now, we're in the incoming quality check area. Tell me a little bit about what happens here and why it's important.
So the material will move from receiving into the IQC area. Okay. So you see we have an inspector here. So per each PO, and our system, okay, will provide the instruction how to, inspect the material, and also, require the inspector, to record the data, okay, into the system. Okay. Because after IQC, if passed, the material will move into the inventory, ready for manufacturing.
So this is that essential first quality check.
First quality check.
So this is one of the more focused assembly and integration processes here at Premio. This is a server assembly and integration. Can you walk us through basically what we're looking at here and why it's an important process?
Okay. Regardless, which manufacturing setup, okay, how we control the process is the same, okay?
Love it.
And we have a system we call the shuffle control system. Okay, so you see, actually you can see the shuffle control system on the screen.
Sure.
Okay, most of the component has a serial number.
Sure.
So we actually, recode the serial number, okay, to link with the system serial number altogether. Okay. Then we share that data, okay, with our customer. So by recording the serial number of the component, we can use the component serial number to backtrace the build history.
Because orders, like you said, you're shipping them sometimes 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
So which style of Premio product you're working on, I'm guessing shifts very quickly.
In the ever-growing world of data, as more industries find use cases for granular data sets, Premio needs to be able to not only grow with that data, but also with its customers. But when other solutions fail to scale at the same rate, how exactly does Premio keep pace?
So here's the inventory.
Okay.
Actually, it has two different functionality. Here you see the inventory stocking. Here you see the work order preparation. So the material will move through to the preparation. Everything is ready. Material will follow the schedule, flow into the assembly line. So operation efficiency means everywhere. So we try to use the IT approach, to try to streamline and automate a lot of things.
Premio has the capacity to deliver on size of product and also specific use case depending on the kind of deployment and also the size of the company. So this is just another one of your assembly processes. This is your cell assembly process. Walk us through why cell assembly helps elevate Premio's offerings.
Like I say, regardless where the manufacturing is running, you see they all do the same thing, am I right?
Right.
There's a system to help them, to guide them how to build a product.
Sure.
And also, demand, the assembler, okay, to record the data per design. So you see you see the assembly line, you see the server, you see the embedded, they all do the same thing, okay? So, it's a shuffle system, okay, across the board, okay, to actually manage and control the manufacturing process regardless where it is.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Same oversight process, but applied in different ways.
Yes.
So this is one of the last processes in the Premio sort of order of operations. Here we've got the final quality control, more specifically the out-of-box analysis. So can you break down how that process works and why it's a critical QC component?
It's very similar to IQC.
Sure.
We do the same thing on the system. Okay, we mark a system SKU as an all bar required. So actually, they grab the system, okay, they will see how you seal, how you pack. They check all the accessory, all the kitting, the label printing, the serial number, every single thing, every single detail. The reason, okay, we do that, even, you really increase our cost a little bit.
Sure.
But however, it really, assure we don't ship any DOA product to our customer before we ship.
I mean, top to bottom, I'm just impressed with the dedication to quality. It's literally in every single step here at Premio.
Oh, we have to.
I love it.
Okay.
And again, I mean, I'm just impressed with the level of quality, and I appreciate you walking us through all of this. So
Yep, no problem.
Great to meet you, and
Okay,
thank you
great
for
to
all of
meet you
this.
too.
Yeah, I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah.
So Dustin, Premio's been around for a while now, 30 plus years, actually 32 to be exact. So if we reflect a little bit and look at Premio's past, how do you see that informing where Premio is at today?
I think in 30 years, we've been able to build a foundation and the infrastructure in the United States to really help serve a lot of our customers.
So with that in mind, if we look ahead, how do you see Premio's past informing your future as well?
So our past is heavily built around a single core principle foundation,
Yeah.
and that is all around compute architecture. So I'm comfortable and confident to say that Premio's future has a very bright future because it actually revolves a lot around technology, but a lot about compute. So where Premio is and where Premio has for a future, I believe is very productive in the sense because we do serve a specific market, and our core capability is really in the engineering and manufacturing of our compute products that we really deliver and really kind of culminate into a solution for our customers. Hardware itself and computing is definitely not going to go anywhere. I think hardware and software will basically kind of become a lot closer in a relationship, and you'll start to see hardware acceleration driving a lot of the newer workloads for machine learning, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things.
Well, the trend is clear. Customers need more powerful solutions than ever from their manufacturers, and they need them right now. That means manufacturers like Premio will continue to inch closer to their customers, helping address challenges as they arise and future-proof the supply chains and industries that move our world forward. Where will the future of American manufacturing take us? That's the big question. And are we on the verge of a new golden age? Well, one thing's for sure. If we are, you can bet we'll see it right here on Made in America.